Hey guys, going on? Megan here. So this video I've been trying to make for a long time, but I figured, hey, whatever, fuck it. It was always something that fascinated me. If you guys know, I'm a big lover of lions. I love lions ever since I was a kid. I've always been fascinated with them. I mean, who doesn't love lions, right? They're badass as hell. Um, Lion King was one of my favorite Disney movies, of course. But I've not only I was fascinated with them, but because of my nature, I'm always observing and always studying, researching, whatever. I spent a lot of time studying them. I remember I even wrote a paper about them my first year of college, before I dropped out like fucking three times. But I always studied them, right? And you guys also know my passion for building muscle and the human body and things like that. So it was bound to happen that eventually they converge, right? So I years ago I found, I believe it was a documentary or a paper, then I was researching like the was it the hunting strategies of lions? I forgot what I was doing. It's part of my daily routine. You guys know my daily routine, one thing a day, whatever. Back then I was doing one animal a day, as well as the country and the biography and things like that. And long story short, I discovered the sick tribal lions, right? That were really like lions on fucking steroids. The females of those prides, you guys know lions live in prides in groups. Females of the prides were two times the size of the males. Some of them were just the size of the males on the mainland, right? And what I mean by mainland, this is what happened. Long story short, the lions were tracking a herd of buffaloes, I believe. Yeah, buffaloes. They were tracking a herd of buffaloes, and they tracked them into a patch of land, and eventually the course of the river changed, and it stranded the lions on the island. So they were stuck on the island because the course of the river changed, and they were stuck on the island with the buffaloes. So you have a pride of lions, group of lions, and just straight buffaloes. Now let me tell you why this is very important. Contrary to what you've seen on TV, lions normally are scavengers. They don't normally hunt a lot. They're normally scavengers. In fact, hyenas, who we know as scavengers, we know them as scavengers. Hyenas hunt and kill more than lions do. Lions actually steal food from other motherfuckers. Lions are smart. They try not to expend a lot of energy, so that they bully other predators into stealing their food, and they only hunt when they really have to. And when they do hunt, they always go after the weak. You guys know this. They always go after the weak. They always go after the babies and things like that. So doing this limits the amount of calories that they get, limits the amount of protein that they get. When they were stuck on this island, now the only source of food that they really had was buffaloes, right? And mind you, I know you see a lot of documentaries, you see lions hunting buffaloes and things like that. That's not an everyday thing. That's not an everyday thing. On this island, it became an everyday thing because, of course, first thing they try to do is they try to look for the weak. What happens when all the weak were done after they ate the babies or whatever little animals were, on that patch of land? Now they were just left with a big ass herd of buffaloes, right? Huge, and you guys know buffaloes kill lions like crazy. Huge muscular animals. So the lions had to adapt and focus on hunting only buffaloes. So their diet went from eating baby antelopes, baby zebras, and dead bodies and shit to eating fresh, rich, big ass sources of protein, which is the buffalo, of course. And the guys who were observing this trial, remember they left them, and then they came back 2 years later. When they came back 2 years later, and then they saw that they were stranded on the island, they were like, "Oh my fucking goodness!" Those lions were massive. Again, the females were. I'm gonna try to put some pictures on the fucking screen. They were big as shit, man. I watched a documentary, and I was amazed. I was are they myostatin deficient or some shit? Like, again, because I've studied lions for so long, I've never seen female lions so fucking big. Chest was all out, neck was thick as hell. And the science found out that that was the exact same pride. It wasn't like, oh no, it was genetics, or whatever. It was the exact same pride of lions and their descendants. And the main thing that changed was obviously they had to swim a lot because of the river, but that didn't contribute to their muscle mass because you don't get that big just from fucking swimming. And it wasn't just the hunting of buffaloes that made them that big, because again, lions do, they're fucking active. They don't, again, I'll say they scavenge for food, but they also fight and things like that. The main factor that contributed to that huge increase in size was caloric intake and protein. caloric intake, and protein. Their calories, again, I geeked out, guys. I know exactly how much calories the average lion eats per day in the wild, in the zoo. I mean, I have so many statistics on lions. Their average calories went up tenfold. Their protein intake went up tenfold. Because remember, lions don't just eat to be satisfied. They overeat just in case they go a long time without food. So whereas the normal lions that we see in the zoos and on the savannas, that is not their maximum size. That's what this thing concluded. They found out the lions that we normally see on TV and things like that is not their maximum size. They're only limited to that size simply because, again, of their hunting strategy, the fact that they don't eat enough calories and enough protein and things like that. And when they do kill an animal, the male lion comes in, based on the social hierarchy, and he has first dibs. So he normally eats like 90% of the fucking food, and then the females who did the hunting have to follow with the scraps, and then the babies just fucking the number one cause of death for baby lions is actually starvation because there's like no leftovers. That's why lions are so small. But on that island, you kill a buffalo, that is food for days. And mind you, they were stuck there for over 2 years, so they had buffalo after buffalo every day on the plate. It wasn't dead zebras or dead antelopes. It was buffalo meat with the creatine and the fucking amino acids and all that stuff, the cholesterol. They made gains upon gains, gains upon gains. And the fact that they only hunt the weak first, what happened was they ended up trimming the weak of the herd. So the only thing that was left was the big daddy motherfuckers. Long story short, that helped me realize something. Again, back to bodybuilding. The importance. Remember I made a video and I explained the one thing that decides how big you'll be is your appetite? Because when I observed, all the natural buff motherfuckers I knew, the biggest correlation was their appetite. They ate like tanks. That drilled that point home, guys. Eat it. And that's why I keep telling y'all, 80% of bodybuilding, putting on size, whatever, is nutrition. Eating enough calories, eating enough protein. Now, of course, there are techniques, there are ways to grow, without eating something, this much food and things like that. I've done it myself. But damn. I really recommend you guys to go and watch the documentary or, look up it's called the Zaro Pride, I believe. I know they're in the Duba Plains, but I'll try to put it in the description or some shit. Excuse me. Try to put it in the description or some shit, but definitely look it up. And it's a big, oh shit, 7 minutes. It's a big evolutionary twist, because it really shocked scientists all over the world. They were like, because everyone thought this, the size of lions now that we see is their normal size, and we found out it's not. That also makes you believe how many other animals out there can be bigger than they currently are, and are simply the size that they are because of the fact that their food supply is limited. But anyway, like I said, look up the story if you're a fellow geek like me and you like, crisscrossing different fields. And comment below. Let me know what you guys think once you read up about it. Like the video, share as always, and stay tuned for more crazy videos like this. Again, I like going outside of my comfort zone, and then it's not always about talking about the same things over and over again. It helps to go out and study the world around you. Amazing insights. Oh, and remember the 3 things that I told you are responsible for muscle growth? That's another perfect example right there. The 3 ingredients: ATP, energy; amino acids, growth factors. Those lions on that island were exposed to all 3. They had a ton of ATP from the calories, a ton of amino acids, of course, the protein, and the growth factors from having to swim, hunt, recover, longer, sleep longer because they had so much food, and you put those 3 on any person, animal or human, you're having, insane gains in muscle mass. All right, guys, again, I hope this video helped. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good shit. Team through the alpha. I'm out of here.